Okay, I decided today, since there's some snow and ice on the ground, that I was going to do a little experiment for my benefit and see which ones of my trail shoes can actually handle snow and ice so that I know for in the future. We're gonna go ahead and start. I figured I'd go ahead and publish this because that way other people can maybe know out of these shoes which ones work well and which ones don't. I still have a decent amount of snow and ice on my driveway. It's pretty slick. By the way, this was never powder snow. This came down in little tiny hail nuggets, and that's what this is. So it is pretty much more ice than snow. We're gonna go ahead and test it out. I'm gonna try the Nike Wild Horse 7s first, mainly because they're the ones that I'm pretty sure I will kill myself with. I've heard from multiple other reviews that the Nike Wild Horses do not handle wet or slippery surfaces well. So we're gonna go ahead and test that out. I'm gonna be particularly careful with them. And we're gonna see how they feel. This is gonna be largely subjective as to which ones are the best. But we're gonna go ahead and try it out. Okay, I was actually pleasantly surprised. They handled the snowier part quite well. Like, I didn't slide at all. I even tried, like, as you may have seen in the video, I tried like sliding my feet on them. It wasn't until I got to the really bad packed ice that's on the road portion that I had a little bit of slippage. They actually did not bad. You know what? All the reviews I've seen saying they don't handle wet conditions well and stuff really made me think that, like, the moment I touched the ice with these shoes on, that I was gonna fall on my butt. But that was not the case. They actually didn't do nearly as badly as the other reviews I've seen kind of led me to believe. Granted, this wasn't over a long period of time or anything, and this is fairly packed snow. I wonder if you can see the footprints. Like, I'm not sinking deep into that snow, but they actually did fine. Maybe they do worse in actual, like, wet, like, slimy conditions, but I don't know, they did fine on the snow to me. The ice got a little slippery on the packed part, but I was actually impressed. They didn't do too bad. Alrighty, next shoe we're gonna try out is my Hoka Stinson ATR 6s. And I said in a vlog the other day that I had never tried these on snow or ice before, so I don't know, because the lugs don't look like something that would bite into snow and ice. But we will see. Hoka tends to do well with this kind of stuff. We'll see. I'm gonna do some hesitant little scrapey steps first and we'll go on. Okay, I was surprised. They actually did worse than the Wild Horse 7s on the packed ice. They actually felt very slippery, so I was right to think that these lugs are not so great for ice. They did fine on the snow part that isn't as packed, but as for the packed ice, I would probably not run on these shoes in this. They felt pretty slidey. All right, next to last shoes that we're gonna try out today, let's see if we can get some slightly better light, are the Asics Fuji Light 2s. I suspect that these will do quite well just because I'm looking at the tread and the tread looks quite aggressive and like it should be able to handle it. But I don't know about the rubber. It's gonna largely depend on how hydrophilic or hydrophobic it is. That's gonna make a big difference. So we're gonna go ahead and test those out now. Okay, the Fuji lights did fairly decently. I would say they were a little less slippery on the really packed stuff over on the road than the Wild Horse 7s, but still not like amazing. They were still a little bit slippery. That may just be what you have to expect. On the slightly less packed stuff that's just in my driveway where I happen to have driven over it once, they actually did quite well. They were very sticky. They did quite well on the snow part. I would say so far as I'd rank these, I would put them the ASICS Fuji lights, the Wild Horse 7s, and then least the Hoka Stinson ATRs. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Hoka Speed Goats now and see how those do. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and test out the Hoka Speed Goats. I'm hoping that these feel good because I have been assuming that these are the best ones in the snow and ice, and they're what I've been wearing out anytime I've been going anywhere. And what I've been wearing anytime I have to do a run on ice and snow, but I'm still doing road or like paved trail. So we're gonna see how they do. Maybe I've been using the wrong shoes and maybe I need to be using the ASICS Fuji lights for that. Okay, I think honestly the ASICS Fuji lights were the least slippery on the packed ice. They were still a little bit slippery, but I would say that they were the least slippery. Right now, I'm not gonna do a finishing video for this. This is gonna be the finishing video. I would probably say that the least slippery was the ASICS Fuji Light 2s, closely followed by the Hoka Speed Goat 4s, then the Wild Horse 7s by Nike, and then the most slippery, which I probably would not take out on any sort of ice. If it was fresh powder, I would still take this shoe out. But if there's gonna be any sort of packed ice, I probably wouldn't. The Hoka Stinson ATR 6s. This was a fun little experiment for me. I now know that my two go-to shoes in snow and ice would be the ASICS Fuji Light 2s and the Hoka Speed Goat 4s in my personal collection. I do have the Ultra Temp 2s, however, I know for a fact those do terrible in ice. I didn't even bother wearing them today because I have done them on ice before, and I already know that if there's any sort of packed ice, I'm not using those shoes. They're not so bad if there's like snow and it hasn't been packed in. I'd probably rank them about equally to the Hoka Stinson ATR 6s as far as not being able to handle any sort of packed ice whatsoever. That was a little bit fun of an experiment for me. Hopefully somebody out there finds this helpful for their winter running or their springtime running for places like where I'm at, where you still have this when spring comes. But in the meantime, I hope you have a good day. I did so far. And goodbye for now.